Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Matthew, Watty's channel. So today we are going to do another review video of one of my favorite toy lines, and it is the Hasbro inspired Cello toys, which we now know as simply Epic Toys during the rebranding stage. So I do have 3 new tag team sets to look at. Now at the end of the video we are going to do a bonus video or a bonus set. It's a new tag team set from Grapplers and Gimmicks. Now, instead of creating a whole new video just for that one set, we'll kind of add it on to the tail end of this video. Now, we're not going to do a 100% review of the figures because I am an on-card collector. I don't like to tear open my packages if I don't have duplicate sets. I only have one set of each of these tag teams, so we're only going to look at the carded figure from we're going to look at the figures from the outside based on how they're situated in the card. Unfortunately, if you go onto the Asylum website and try to purchase these figures, they pretty much get sold out in a matter of moments. So you really gotta know somebody or be subscribed to their newsletters in order to get updates as to when these figures are actually coming out. Luckily, my buddy Rob, he usually sends me a message, let me know that, hey, certain figures are available, and that's a huge help because I wouldn't know about them otherwise. And like I said, guys, I don't like when so many people buy many duplicates, 5, 10 packages, because the whole purpose is to resell it for a huge price tag, and I hate that. You're basically taking those items away from people who absolutely want them. Folks that have my mindset where they're trying to get duplicates for their own personal collection, one carded, one loose, I can understand. That's how I operate as well, so I can't fault people for doing that, but I think among either, not even just Cello toys / Epic toys, I think any of the action figures that you've seen from any of the Hasbro style figures or Hasbro themselves, I think these might be some of the greatest figures we've ever seen. So among your 4 or 4.5 inch figures, fantastic tag teams, and some of the best aesthetic pleasing figures. The first one I do want to start with, in my opinion, are probably the best set so far, and it is the Powers of Pain. Now, both Warlord and the Barbarian look absolutely amazing. What I've noticed about these figures, or what I've read about, is that they do actually have, I don't know about these figures, but the next tag team we're going to look at, they actually do have removable heads. And I'm trying to see if there's any pieces on here. Now, see, I don't see any additional heads on this one, so I think these heads might be stationary. Again, it'd be a lot better if I'm able to open up a package, but I'm not going to do that. Maybe in the future, if I ever get duplicates or get them loose, I can, make a secondary video for this one. But absolutely, look at that. There are a couple of Remco figures that I purchased from a customizer and had very similar looks to these. And I thought was probably a couple of the best Remco figures I've ever purchased. And just the overall design, absolutely fantastic. What I absolutely like about this as well, fighting pose is pretty decent. When it comes to like Barbarian on the side with the hands up pose, think of your Series 1 Hulk Hogan, Series 2 Ultimate Warrior, Series 4 British Bulldog, etc. From Hasbro. I've never been like a huge disappointment to have that pose because those are figures I had as a kid. And so I'm very familiar with the pose. I'm accustomed to it. I'm okay with that. But this pose right here, kind of like your Hulk Hogan Hasbro Series 3. So, very solid. Probably the best fighting pose. Between Hogan, Bret Hart, pretty much have the similar poses right there. Aesthetically, like I said, with the different materials added onto the figures, it just adds so much more to the design of your action figures. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of just simply tights and trunks, or tights and boots, right? If you got trunks on, you got shoes, whatever. Yeah, I get it. It's like, your wrestling first look, but this is what I covet. Added features to a figure that makes it really pop, and I think Powers of Pain is absolutely amazing. And the back of the card on these are pristine. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. I'm probably not going to read the bio card down here, but beautiful photograph taken. What I really like is not only do you have Powers of Pain right there, but sooner or later you're going to get the Killer Bees, which are absolutely amazing. And old school mid-1980s British Bulldog tag team. Obviously, Greg Valentine, Rhythm and Blues. We got that out several months ago. And that was actually the one figure from Cella Toys I thought I would want more than anything. Until we got these new batches in. These things have been phenomenal. So, give you one last glance over for the Powers of Pain. So, Powers of Pain I got in, I believe, last Friday. Also last Friday, we got the Demolition Tag Team. So, if I did have one problem with these figures or with some of the other figures we've been getting in, you think about Epic Toys. You think about the big rubber guys. You think about like even Random Treasures to an extent. And a lot of your customizers, at-home customizers, Kenny Lester, he's an artist that creates these custom LJNs and hands them off to Justin over at the Raider Nation to sell. What I don't like is it seems like people are always customizing Powers of Pain and Demolition. And I've got a pretty good amount of different figures, customs of LJN for those particular tag teams. So at some point, you just got to say enough is enough. I absolutely love the Powers of Pain. I absolutely love Demolition. These figures are absolutely incredible. But at some point, like I said, because everybody's doing these type of figures, it would be nice to have a little bit of differentiation from figures to figures or from line to line. So, what I really liked about the Smash figure is it kind of keeps like this old school Smash, the type of Smash that the big rubber guys had in their figures. Now, obviously, you got the white face with the red line Smash, which is the one that I'm most familiar with. The one from your Hasbro era type of action figures. And then they've got like this really old school Smash. Darn, who was it? Now, somebody in my comments recently, trying to think who it was. I'm sorry, I'll have to go back and look it up. But he made a good point. And it's something I brought up in my videos in the past. So, you have like, Moondog Rex, that was one of the original Demolition characters. But even after he shaved his facial hair, people still called out Moondog because they knew exactly who Demolition Smash was. And eventually they did replace him with the Smash that, we all know and love. And of course, Smash becomes Repo Man later on. I just thought that was a weird, kind of learn about that, decades later. The figures themselves, like I said, they're incredible pieces. The one downside is that the helmets up here, they're not just plain helmet accessories. They're actually heads inside the helmets. So you can actually take off the head of each of the figures and put the Demolition heads on there. They got like little built-in magnets around the neck. Now, anybody's been watching my channel for a very long time, I think in probably mid-2022, I did an eBay video about one of like the 1, 2, 3 kid figures, customs I got in, and it was so poorly done. Kind of like had like a little magnet over the head. He had like another magnet on his arm, and it kept falling off. It was like, whoever decided to create magnets for action figures, I didn't like it. I absolutely despised it. I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe the magnets are a little bit stronger and they hold a little bit more firmly, so that might make it adequate, but at the same time, I want purely station figures, and I would have much preferred with these helmets just being regular accessories. Take it off, slap it on your Hasbro if you want, or vice versa. Now, you can take your Hasbro Demolition hats and put them on these guys if you want, but so Some people love them or hate them. Do you like the magnets? Me personally, I could definitely live without. And to be honest, if I ever had these figures loose display, this would be my look. I would never even use these. So these helmets would, and heads, I shouldn't even call them helmets. These heads up here would basically be worthless for me. And I kind of feel like that's something that would most likely get lost because, I mean, outside of like putting it at the feet while on display, I don't know. Back of the card, again, I love that little old school look of, Demolition. Looks like the back of the card of this one is the same one as Powers of Pain. Yeah, you see Powers of Pain on theirs. They had Demolition in the middle with Killer Bees on the bottom, where Demolition is vice versa. Killer Bees up one, where Powers of Pain are down one. So, and old school Smash and Axe. Try and give you guys as much time to kind of look at the different details of the figures as possible. Alright, cool. So those I got in last Friday, and just today, Friday, I got in one of the last tag team sets. Not as awesome as the first two, but still an absolute must-have in my opinion. It is your mid-1980s British Bulldog tag team. So British Bulldogs, again, what did I say about Demolition and Powers of Pain? People are constantly rebrandishing or remaking the British Bulldog tag teams. You see them a lot with custom LJNs. You're seeing it with the big rubber guys because it's series, I believe series 5. They got the big rubber guys version of LJN inspired British Bulldogs, and I think they're in this very similar getup. So kind of keep coming out with British Bulldogs, keep coming out with Demolition, Powers of Pain. I'd want to see a different tag team. I think the Killer Bees was a nice getup for your Hasbro style related figures. You don't see too many people customizing Killer Bees, so that's nice. I like that a lot. And I'm trying to think of like really fantastic tag teams of the 1980s, and I don't know if I want to see any more Heart Foundation, especially since you got that from Mattel Retros. I think that's overdone. Strike Force, to me, never a fan of Tito Santana. I think Rick Martel worked so much better as an individual wrestler, so because I never knew about Dynamite Kid until I actually started collecting LJNs 3 years ago. Obviously, since then, I watched a lot of his matches, tag team matches, and become a huge fan, but Davey Boy Smith, I mean, that to me, Davey Boy Smith is easily a top 10 all-time greatest wrestler. So at least, among my favorites. The figures themselves, I like the pose of Dynamite. And his head looks really sharp again. Cella Toys does have a couple different variants or versions of Dynamite Kid. Very popular character, not only in the UK, but obviously in the United States. And his fighting pose, the overall figure looks phenomenal. Maybe because of the way that the hands are situated on Davey Boy, I'm not as much of a fan of that particular figure. But you know what? He's not a stationary figure. The arms are going to go up and down. But I kind of feel like when the arms come down, they're going to be like that close in. And it's not going to be as enjoyable for playability among this particular figure. But the colors are absolutely fantastic. Again, vintage 80s Bulldogs. Amazing. The poses look great. The car backing is fantastic. I don't know. Davey Boy just looks really weird in this photograph up here. Maybe I'm just so used to having, the dreadlocks and everything. So kind of seeing him, with very, having that massive haircut is just like, it's so foreign to me to see that. Here are the figures again, and they stick with Powers of Pain. I like that they do throw in Demolition though at the top. So once again, They do change those tag teams. And on both the previous Powers of Pain and Demolition, you did have the British Bulldogs at the top corners. So they do change that out. So that's really awesome. So who can we expect? We got Greg Valentine, Demolition, Powers of Pain. Missy Hyatt. Is that no. I was going to think that was because the British Bulldog, Dave Boy Smith, and I believe his wife is going to be coming up in a 2-pack. Diamond Dallas Page, Eddie Guerrero. I'll pick them up, of course, but not anyone that I'm like super enthusiastic about. So we're at 15 minutes right now, almost 16. I'm going to do a quick review of grapplers and gimmicks. It's obviously not part of the Epic Toys, but they came in today as well, so I figured we might as well show them off. And I guess it's more of a correct version of Mo and Mabel. So when we got the original Mabel and Mo figures, you had kind of like a purple shirt with yellow overalls, and here I guess is more of the correct color scheme for the characters. We don't get a lot of 2-packs from grapplers and gimmicks, so getting a 2-pack here is fantastic. Yeah, you've got, your Gerard, and you got your Mo and your Mabel and that for Men on a Mission, but they all were single characters. You got your remake of Mo and Mabel, but they were a different color scheme, and they were kind of like a mail away type of variants. Getting both Mabel and Mo on 2-pack, amazing. Again, among grapplers and gimmicks, I do think that these are your number 1 and number 2 figures. So I really don't mind as much with grapplers and gimmicks re-releasing these same figures over and over again, because I feel like every time they come out with a new set, they're doing it better than what they did with the others. I did also purchase a single variant of Mabel on single card, where he is the King Mabel. So if you guys go into Hasbro Toys, you want to pick up those sets, I highly recommend it, because once they go on eBay, you're going to be paying up big time. These figures look absolutely amazing. The back of the card, I'm not as huge of a fan of the back of the card, because they give you like these 3D printed, designs of the characters, but I'm just not that huge into it. I do kind of like the fact that they give you like little demographics, a little design of how they're going to be made and what the functions of the figure will look like. So that's pretty cool. And what I really love about this, it also kind of gives you your, vintage WWF Hasbro of the 1990s with the card back. Obviously, Hasbro Toys, they throw their grapplers and gimmicks icon up there in the corner, but so that meshes beautifully with your Hasbro figures. And, yeah, these are absolutely amazing. I may actually enjoy these more than the other sets, but, different toy lines have their own special uniqueness to the figures, which I always, appreciate. I always said that, yeah, Mattel Retros was supposed to be a continuation of Hasbro to an extent, so you would like your figures to look like Hasbro, but it's their own feature. Cello Toys has their own features. Grapplers and Gimmicks, Rush Collectibles, they all have their own uniqueness to them, which is nice. All right, so today is Friday the 16th. Let's see, I'll probably post this video on Sunday. I'm not going to wait until Wednesday, because for the next couple Wednesdays, I am going to have part 2 and part 3 of the WWE Mo2 review videos post on those days. So this will be posted Sunday, and I guess next week we'll probably go back to business as usual. Mondays we'll still be looking at overseas deployments with my contracting jobs. Wednesday will be the review video, working on Mo2, and Friday we'll still do the tournament videos. I'm actually going to stay down here. I'm going to film hopefully 3 or 4 more videos of the tournament. That way all those videos will be in queue and ready to be posted when the time comes. And guys, if you, for the tournament video itself, I was also throwing around the idea of posting a new video Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that way we got 3 videos from the tournament each week. If you guys like that idea and would rather see more tournament videos back to back as opposed to having to wait a week in between, please let me know. So that way it'll give me an idea to come down here, make more videos for you guys, and that way more content can be posted. But that is it for now, guys. Hopefully you got your opportunity to pick up Epic Toys figures. Absolutely fantastic, and they are doing some awesome work. Trying to think what else. I think I have another Grapplers and Gimmicks Mabel Siegel figure coming, and I don't know, is Asylum, the Remco style figures. I think there's also an order from Ringside Collectibles from way, months ago, where they have like Legion of Doom and Steiner Brothers, and they're like Remco style figures. I'm still waiting for those. I've been excited about getting those in for months, and again, I always feel like I'm like one of the last people to get them in, which sucks. But so those are going to be some really fun videos to go over when the time comes. The Superstars, bone crunching action figures. A few weeks ago, I ordered a bunch of them. Well, not a bunch. I got about 6 figures on card there. I have no intention on finishing that line. I just got them because I wanted to go over some of the figures with you guys. Like I said, I like to do reviews, a little bit of everything. So it kind of like picks up the toy line of different people from different stages of their life. Maybe something that they grew up with. Not my favorite toy line at all, but I think some folks will still get a kick out of it nonetheless. Everybody, thank you so much for watching as always. Please leave a comment if you'd like, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks again for joining me, everyone.